Well, howdy, y'all. It's Thursday night. It's time for the tool shed. You know, you ever noticed how they have you putting the water on the lawn and adding the seed to the lawn, and then you're supposed to mow the lawn? And by God, if they don't want you to come back and do it all over again, what's that about? I tell you what, I think tonight we're going to talk about how to get your tool tuned up, all ready to go.
Mark, are you trying to take over my show again?
Oops. Never mind.
Uh, April
April
Fools!
Y'all have a great show.
Oh, thanks, honey. Oh, gosh. We couldn't resist kind of pulling a little joke on you guys. So, hello. I hope you understood all of that. And we were just having a little fun. He was helping me set up the camera. And I said, you know what? It's April 1st. I said, you want to kind of do a little fun? And he was great. I am so impressed. So I think there's a YouTube show in his future. So, did you like that? I was hoping you did. Yeah, he is. And, he was an actor earlier in his life and a DJ. So, there's a big ham in that fella. So, he said, you don't think they'll mind me doing a funny accent? I said, not a bit. I think they would love it because y'all are a group of fun ladies. So, oh, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I think he did pretty good for impromptu. But at work, he does a few voiceovers and stuff. And I would love to get him back on the stage one way or another because he's a lot of fun. What I'm doing right now, if you notice while I'm talking, I'm still laughing about that because I think it's so cool he did that. But I'm just kind of pressing out my landscape. So, because I notice, the more you do to it, the more it wants to draw up and be a little odd. I just ironed my quilt with the iron not on. Okay. We'll get there, okay? We will get there. Oh, we were planning this at the last minute, so I wasn't fully ready, and I'm sorry about that, but it was too much fun to think about doing. So sorry, my hair is a little messy, but it'll work. We'll get there. So hello, everybody. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the group and say, watch the first couple minutes of the Art Quilt Thursday, because I think they will get a kick out of seeing him. That's what he's really like. Let me tell you. He doesn't just tell me a news story. He acts it out. So, oh gosh. I love it. All right, now I've got the iron on and it's heating up. But I was telling you that as I was working on this today, I noticed it kind of was drawing up funny. And I tried to do a little bit of trimming of it so that I could really see what I had left that I wanted to leave. Oh, okay. But it was drawing up. Now as you can see, I've done some work adding some wildflowers in the front. And I don't know how y'all are feeling, but maybe it's springtime, but I'm wanting to do something else. So let's see. I think it's looking pretty good. I tried doing some yarn up in here, but it was starting to look too much like toothpicks. So I've been taking out half of each one, trying to make it look a little more random. So it's coming together pretty good, but I think my attention span is just about maxed out when it comes to this. So today, while we talk about this, oh, yay, Kathleen got her vaccine. Woohoo. Oh, Cheryl Hogan woke up to snow. That is an April Fool's joke this far into spring. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, it is so good to see you guys. And this week I've been working on a swing cover. Let me see if I can turn the camera around and show you. Do you see that big pile of tan fabric? It is a lot to sew. I wish I had my old Juki straight stitch industrial machine, because it's a vinylized, it's called Otter Text fabric, and it's for the top of my swing out back, because I've ordered some new cushions for it, and I had to have a new top. That's the problem. The cushions went because the top started ripping and I had to take it off. Jody, hi, sweetie. You probably didn't see the very beginning, but Mark did a little April Fool's joke on everybody. So when we're all done, you'll have to go back and look at the first couple minutes. So, but anyway, so here it is. And I'm pretty happy with it, but I've got to be honest, I'm bored now. So tonight I'm going to take a little bit of thread. Hi, Marcia. Oh, that's so cute, Marcia. And but I'm going to show you how to take a little bit of ribbon and stuff and work on it. And then I think I'll quilt it to make sure it gets done. I'll see if I need to use any of the Inktense pencils anywhere. But tonight, I would like to spend time with you, and I'd like to show you some of the things I'm thinking about for our next project. And if you have ideas, I'd love to know too. Oh, thank you, Linda. You're right. It's hard to know when to stop. When's enough? So I'm probably going to do photos first to show you. And I was showing y'all Sunday the new thread I bought. And I don't know if any of you have tried these needles, but I got them. They're Roxanne appliques and 50 needles, which I liked that part. And so I'm hoping these are good needles, but I thought it was a different kind. I knew it was applique, and I love the little container. So I think, then I'm going to see what I can do with that little container. That's the kind of stuff I love to save. And I can use them in fun ways in quilt projects as embellishments, because that's just a cute little container. Or if I've always wanted to make a shadow box, and that would be cute. What size needle? Good question, Kathleen. I think they were 10s. And you won't believe this, it doesn't say on the package. The 10 is the last number of this RX number. So the last number is 10. So maybe 10? But it's funny that it doesn't say. Handmade in England. So I'm cool. This is my first purchase of Roxanne needles. I'll let you know how it works out. All right. So what I did, the flowers that I put on here, let me bring my light source back. And, last week I had done all of the thread painting. So this time I spent time putting in different yarns and things to give the look of a tall wildflower field. And so I use green threads and I use this funny thread and, different colored greens of threads for stems and leaves. And then I use some yarn for the blue bonnets. And I just took the yarn and kind of bunched it up and twisted it and then laid it there and zigzagged it down. So that's what I've got so far. And I like it, but I think I need to do a bit more. And then the one thing I want to do that's unique about this quilt is have some really big flowers right up close and personal, like they were growing right here in front. So for those, I'm going to use the ribbon and be really precise. But so far, what I did today is I used a lot of yarn and tried to do different things. And I forgot to show you, do you see that I put the yellow yarn in that field? It shows up too much. So I'm spending time now trying to, it looks just like toothpicks thrown onto the field. So I'm taking out half of what I've put in there. And I know, at least from one of you, that you do the same thing I do. We try things, doesn't look right, we take it out. And that's part of it. Sometimes quilters feel like they have to be perfect to do something, or they have to know what they're getting ready to do, or no, you don't. No, this is all trial and error, and just have fun like when you were a kid. If you didn't like the little dog you drew, you'd put an X on it and do another one. So, just have fun. Oh, you saw it? I'm so glad you saw him. I mean, is that just the cutest or what? And we were worried that some people would say, whoa, I must be in the wrong place. And he said, well, no, I think the background, they'll know. So it wasn't that cute. So what's the 3D on the left of this? Let's see. Because everything I've got on there right now is yarn. And I even put some yarn in the stone wall. And the stone wall is where I'm going to use the ink tints the most to try to give it a real aged look. Because, they can print out a fabric, but to give it a really good look. But if you saw something 3D, it's probably some of the yarn flowers. So your other left. Okay. So yeah, it must be that yarn. So has anybody thought about hi, Alberta. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Alberta, I told Jody this. Mark and I played a little April Fool's joke on you. So when you get a chance, watch the playback the first couple minutes. He did a real cute little thing. So he's a ham as much as more than me. So I think let's look at some pictures and then we'll talk about what our next project will be. And then I want to look at your pictures, and then I'm going to take some of the ribbon and a crewel needle and show you how I'm going to try to reproduce some of the blue bonnets. Okay, so let me turn this around, turn off the light, and but I have been sewing the new awning for my back deck swing. I do love. Whoops. I love going out there and sitting on that swing. Here, whoops. Okay, is everybody here? Yeah, hopefully you can still see me. All right. Okay, whoops, come on now. All right, let's go to photos. If you can still see me, just mention you can still see me, and hopefully. Okay, so I've got a lot of photos to show you today. Let me go back and see you guys and make sure that yes, you can still see me. Good. Thank you, Miss Linda. Perfect. All right. Now let's go back to the photos. What I did is I made a subfolder. Boy, I've got folders and subfolders and everything else. So let's look here. And that's a lot of wildflowers. And I'm not sure I want to make all of that many. That I said, oh boy, that would be a job. Okay, here's another one with a more up close look at the bluebonnets. So that will kind of help me. Then look at all of these colors. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one, they're not very colorful, but they are there. So that is nice. So even though right now I'm kind of like bored with this quilt, I really want to do it right. I really do. So where were we? Okay, we'll start back up with this one. But I just kind of want to show you what these photos look like with the wildflowers in front. And these are all the images I found online that I use as an inspiration. Let me see. Let me go to the next one. This is sweet little white ones, which are nice. But you know me, I love color. But it gives you an idea how you can see the grasses come up and like to show the foreground, the difference in the foreground and the background. All right. Let me go back down there. I've got just a couple more to show you. Here is a really nice mix between bluebonnets and other wildflowers. But as you can see, that's a lot of wildflowers. Now, let me see if I can find the one that has some up close and personal flowers. This one is a good one for this. Let me get it bigger so you can see. But you can see how they've got some right up front that are really, really visible. And I think that's what's going to make me very happy is to do something that's really close up front. So I'll keep working on that. What you're going to be doing is you'll see the finished quilt next week. Let me see. I think that here's another one that had poppies really up close and personal. But I think that's a little bit much. That's too much work for me right now, especially when my attention span for this project has reached its maximum. And, this has the columbine flowers right in the front. Isn't that beautiful? And it's not too many. They're just up close enough to really give you that feeling of depth. So I might do something like this. Pick a few flowers and do something like that. That's really beautiful. Okay, I think that maybe there's just one more I can show. Yeah, this one I think they're a little too up close and personal and a little too much. But I can still take a couple of these ideas and put them in mine. But you see how you've got a lot of color. Look at all the different greens so that you can have that feeling of a lush wildflower meadow. And that's what I was trying to do is laying down lots of color that then I can come in and put the few flowers over it. So I think that gives you a really good idea of what I've been doing or what I'm trying to do. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to show you a few things, and I might have them in a couple different folders. But I was first looking at flowers and wondering if we wanted to do something more with flowers, making like one giant flower and doing a pattern off of me doing a pattern for you to then work on. Whoops, I put a couple other things in here. But just looking, do we want, like this, we could do we could do the colors of it and then do some individual leaves to make it a little 3D. I just am not sure. Look at that water lily. Isn't that gorgeous? Um, I just don't know. This passion flower, there's a lot that we could do with that. So this is one of my ideas, which is to take an up close and personal flower and have fun. I would make up a pattern. Look at this iris. Is that incredible? But do an up close and personal pattern. The pansies are always so good. Okay, now, then let me go back and find, hold on. I had some other ideas I pulled out. Let me see if I can find them. It's under live stream. Okay, come on. All right. Art Quilt Thursdays. Okay, then I had the idea of what if I taught you how to do the stained glass mosaic technique. And that's where whatever is going to be your not mortar, your grout or your leading, that's the color you will pick for your background. And then all the pieces you put on top will be cut, tucked under with freezer paper, and you will leave the dark little lines or whatever, or the gray little lines coming from, look at this. So like you would pick this color that they've put in the caning, the lead kind of stuff, and that's the color you'd pick for your background. And then all of these would be pattern pieces that you cut out with freezer paper and you tuck under the edge. And when you put them on, the line of the background shows through. That's one of the things I'm thinking. Would we like to try? And it could be more mosaic style or it could be more stained glass style. And I even ended up look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? I even found, and this would be kind of cool because you could have a background and then the fish could be mosaic style. But I like how they kind of did a mix. The fish are mosaics, but the rest, even the bottom part down here is just a little relaxed and just a kind of a hint at sea life under them. So that is a cool idea. This, I thought it was just stunning. And you would do a dark background, then I would have to do patterns where you'd have to get your fabrics, decide what colors, and then I would have to have little templates. And you would have this size template, that size template, that size template. You would have like 4 or 5 different size templates. But maybe this would be too much to do. But I thought that was exquisite. Here's another one. When I look up mosaics and the stained glass, a lot of fish, a lot of water. Now, this was cool because you would have to cut these out. You'd have to cut these out separately. It looks like using a good medium gray blue for the background. And then you just leave that space in between the pieces you put down. Okay, let me go. I'm having a little trouble getting my mouse to act right. Oh, there we go. Okay. This was awesome because it shows a 3D effect and that. Isn't that cool? So it would have to be a pattern. You'd put it on dark fabric, then cut your little bricks. Now, you wouldn't have to turn them the edges under. You could do a raw edge. And somewhere I did look up some raw edge work. And let me see if I can go find that. But I think I found, hold on just a second. I think I found some free quilt patterns already done. And let me see if this will show. Yes. This something like this could be something we could consider. I like the idea of learning how to do a pieced background that's subtle like this, and then the specific cut pieces that you applicate on top. And they could be raw edged, turned under, like you could machine applicate them to make it fast. Okay, then I think I had another one because I was trying to look at what we can do next that is challenging but not overwhelming. And then I found this one, which I thought was super cool. And this has all of the pattern information and pieces for you. So, and it's free to y'all to use. I will give you the site destination, but that's an idea. Then let's find the last one that I remember putting in this folder. Okay, here's one on a more simple background, but this pattern is free, and this is some RJR fabric, and it has all of the templates. It has the color list listed out, and here are the templates. So this is something that everyone could do because it's just cut and paste. And I think I would take and print these out, copy this onto freezer paper, and then that way I can, it'll stabilize the fabric for me really well. But I would work on it before I get you to start so I have a few ideas of what we do next. So those are some patterns already done that would make it a little bit easier. Now, let me see. Fabric painting. There was something else I had. Oh, yes. I was thinking the other opportunity I thought about was we could do a flower basket. And let me tell you what this would mean. Okay, I need to look for blocks. And okay, do you see all of these flower patterns I have here? So I've gone to EQ and I've pulled out all the flower patterns. And I would have a printed templates for you to use for flowers. But one thing I was thinking about doing, and if you saw one of my UFOs, you'll know that on my daughter's quilts, I did a actual woven basket that I took, and I can show you how to do the pieces, and you're actually going to weave the fabric in and out to make a basket. So that's really cool. And then you can find out of your stash, you can find floral fabric that you actually do like a broderie purse where you cut out the flower off your fabric and we'll fuse it down. And then you can do a machine applique or raw edge and just stitch, just a straight stitch around it. So we could kind of put together just a free spirit kind of flowers and leaves where you can either find them in the fabric you have, or I will give you patterns of different pieces so you can cut them out from the colors you want. So let me keep that in mind. I'm going to go look while I've got this on photos. Let me go back and show you your work, and then we will come up and discuss this. So I just wanted to let you know I've been looking around for ideas. Let me see, what is this one? City Blooms, it says. Oh, I thought this was pretty cool. And again, it's taking a pieced background and then doing like appliques onto it. And we can make the appliques as 3D as we'd like. We can make them puffy and all of that. And we could do some thread painting. We could put pom-poms in the center, whatever. These are just ideas for us to sit and talk about. But let's go back to your photos, and I'm going to see if I can move through this really quickly. And here is Miss B's doggy doggy quilt, which I love. I think she did a wonderful job. We could even do pet photos if we wished. All right. Thank you, Miss B, for showing us that. I love all the thread painting that you did to really differentiate that fur. So way to go. All right. Let's see. Who else? Miss Betty. I'm not sure if she's going to be here with us. Oh, you know what? She sent me another one of these where she had done the thread painting, and I don't think I put it in here yet. I will have to show you that next week because she's done a lot of thread painting in here. All right. And then I am just so tickled about her owl quilt. Look at this and wait until you see what she did to make this perfection. I just adore this. I really do. I think she has done a beautiful job catching the quiet, dark eeriness, but yet the beauty of the reflected moonlight. I think she's outdone herself. Okay, let's see who else. I don't think I really. Oh, you know what? I forgot to take a picture of my cow quilt. I sent it off with my daughter. Oh, poo. Okay. All right. Well, let me go back. Darn it. I totally forgot. And Dolores, oh my gosh, Dolores is something else. I'm going to show this raccoon quilt still spooks me out just a little. So this might be the last time we see this. It is so wonderfully done. The way she looks like she folded the paw over right there. I mean, oh my gosh, that is amazing. So, okay, and then this is her mountain meadow, and I'm really tickled to see that she's done that. All right, let's see where we're going now. Miss Jody, I've got to show this again. And I think it's Elsa Lancaster was the name of this actress. I just think that is awesome. And one more time, the married couple. This is so poignant. I love it. She is all strength, and he is a lost soul. Isn't that something? All right. And I think I was reading, and the actress was frustrated with how long it took for her to be wrapped up with all of the fabric strips and the wig, the way it stood out in the back, and all the makeup. It was hours of work. Isn't this beautiful? Miss Linda does this, and she, hand colors papers, fabrics, cuts them out. Here is her polymer clay, beautiful. And these little stamps, they're just amazing. They look like real stamped stamps, canceled stamps, as she cuts the little birds out and puts on them. She says this gives her a lot of pleasure to make these. I think it's amazing. So, and there are her little daily projects, do a little special thing this night. And I just love it. Her nice collections. And then this is her absolutely beautiful landscape. So it's going to be about time for me to switch out some photos. So if you've got any more photos, guys, of things you worked on, and Marcia, since it's supposed to be spring, will show her beautiful green pouch that she crocheted. Love that. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to, is there anybody else who has done art quilts? Miss Polly did the fabric painting and started to do some invisible thread stitch work. Love that. And that's another thing too, that maybe we can figure out something we'd like to do to use the paints. I think our last one is going to be Miss Susie Blake, and we'll see her two editions of this landscape mountain meadow, and then a gorgeous picture of her and her lovely daughter. So thank you so much. Be sending me some more photos of your latest work, and we'll keep showing them. Any updates? And I'm sorry that I forgot to show you Betty's update. I thought I saved it, but I guess I didn't. So let me come back to y'all, get out of all these photos, and then we can discuss, what should we do? So, okay, I'll bring you back up. Is everybody here? It looks like you were able to see them. So, do you have ideas? Because I'm going to, work on this a little bit tonight. Then I will show you the finished product next week. And if you have yours, anything further done on them, send me the photos. I love showing your work. And then tonight, I dropped this onto the floor. It was a good thing in disguise because I get busy using stuff and I just kind of throw it back in the container. And when it hit the floor, everything, the spools ran. I had yards and yards of ribbon everywhere. So I spent about a half an hour cleaning that up and being nice and tidy and folding everything and putting everything nice. And then all of a sudden went, oh, it's 7:00. I've got a show to do tonight. So anyway, let me know if you can still see me, someone. Let me know if you can if we're still in sync and I didn't lose you somehow. And then we can talk. Do you have an idea? Oh, yes. Okay. So you like the mosaics, Linda, and the stained glass. Okay. Tell me, and thank you for commenting. Tell me some of your others. Do you have new ideas that I didn't cover there? Is there one of those? I guess it was like making a woven basket flower thing out, just free cutting and rough edged finishing, or do you want to do a stained glass or a mosaic? So good. Thank you, Cheryl. You're with Linda. Okay. All right. So it's looking like what I'm getting a feeling is looking like a mosaic / stained glass thing. Cheryl, hi, sweetie pie. All right. So you're thinking a mosaic stained glass thing. I'm going to run with it. Were there any what kind of the mosaic stained glass things? What really, of all the photos I showed you, what things kind of struck your fancy? Were the pond and the koi fish, or flowers in a mosaic, or a gate with flowers? That would work. We could do a mosaic gate with flowers on it. But if we're thinking mosaic / stained glass, what were your favorite things that you saw? The one with the blue background. Oh, was that the blue background with the pink little flowers? So we could do the one that had the piecing in long strips and make it look like a gate. Oh, you like? Yes, Dolores, I love the koi idea too. Well, maybe we can do a coil fish mosaic, and you can choose between that or a gate with flowers doing that background piecing and then doing the applique over that. Does that sound good? I'll give you those two choices. I'll have to draw it myself. I don't want to copy anyone else's work. So I will be glad to draw it myself. And then that way, gate and flowers. Okay. And we'll kind of use that free pattern for the gate and flowers. We'll use that free pattern because it already has the piecing running in long strips. And so what I'll do is we'll say, okay, make these whatever your gate color is going to be, and then we'll have the flowers. And you can decide what color to make your own flowers. All right. So what I'm going to do is I will then send you out that free pattern. And if you want, what I love doing is I will take some colored pencils or crayons and kind of work out. Look at your stash and look at the pattern and print out in black and white. I tell you what, I'll try to see if I can't take the color out of it. That way you can color in what you'd like yours to look like. And that you can look at your fabric stash based on what you like. And you could, because, gates can be all different colors. And so that's great. All right. That's what we'll do then. That is what we will do. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to have one koi fish and one gate project. And since the gate one is going to be so easy for me, I'll probably send that out to you first. And then when I get the koi done, maybe next week, I'll have that one ready. Oh, wow. So you'll love this. And just remember, if you do a stained glass or mosaic, your background fabric becomes the grout in between all of the pieces, or the caning, the lead caning. So be thinking about that when you're thinking. Okay, super. All right. If you want the pattern, I would like for you to send me an email, because especially the gate one, I'll try to get that one done fast so I can send it out to you so you can start picturing what colors you want, getting those handy. All right, so our time to quilt at twc.com. And as soon as I pull that together, I will shoot that email copy out to you so that you can start pulling your fabrics, and then we'll talk together. I will work up a couple methods so that if you want to use, like, print the pattern out on freezer paper, and then you can roll the fabric over and have a nice clean edge, or I'll show you what it looks like to do a raw edge or a turned applique. So I can show you the different ways and you can decide what works best for you. All right. So now we know what we're going to do. And that koi fish was so pretty. So that's why I'm kind of happy we'll do that. And if you want both patterns, you can have both patterns, because I'm just going to email them to you. So, okay, I'm going to turn on the light over here and let's see what we can do to finish this puppy off. I was listening to a book on tape while I was working on this, and that kind of helped make the time go. But I tell you, okay, I do have some packs of this silk thread, but I'm going to tell you, you're welcome, sweetie. I'm going to tell you something. I used some of the silk right down here. The silk is so delicate. The silk works beautiful on fine linen or handkerchiefs, but do you see how soft it is? It kind of disappears into nothing. And even if I were to use a brighter color, it's not going to be very big. So besides being expensive, which each pack is only 3 yards for $1.50. That's 50 cents a yard for this little piece of ribbon. So what I'm thinking is let's use the polyester inexpensive ribbons. Let me find my needles. I've got crewel needles here. Let me grab one of these crewel needles. All right. And I'm going to bring out this. Now, this is inexpensive. This is stuff I probably got at Walmart or Joann's, wherever. And I'm going to cut a good sized piece. And these were probably 50 cents or $1 each for 10 yards. But the thing I like about it is, do you see it has weight? It has some heft to it. So what I'm going to do is come in here and try to make a blue bonnet. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do it. And one that I tried earlier that I liked was to lay the ribbon right here and then to come in and just make a complete stitch through it. See how I did? And then pull it out, because that way you don't have to. This is the hard part. I've got so many layers in this quilt that I really have to tug. It would be really helpful to have a finger caught pulling finger doer. Let me see. I don't know if I have one here. Let me see. If you have, no, that's not the sticky ones. Let me see. Oh, here's a blue, little tiny bit of dark blue. I don't have it. In a case like this, if you have like a rubber finger that you can put on, or a pair of surgical gloves, that will help you pull it through. But you can also use pliers. And a lot of people, when they're doing the heavy stitching by hand, will use pliers. Oh, goodness gracious. I didn't realize this was going to be that hard to get it through. But I would see all of the different sewing. Remember, it's got a foundation on it. It's got all the different layers of fabric, and then all of that thread painting. I can't go backwards. I'm stuck with my course. Let me get this. I know what I can try. I should have some hemostats around here somewhere. If I put them back when I was done, and I did. Okay, these hemostats that I bought after seeing them used on a type of applique and then hardly ever using them. See how pretty and shiny they are? But if I, grab the needle and give it a good pull. There we go. So now, yay, I used my hemostats finally. Okay, so what I'm doing, you see right here, this knots it so that it can't go anywhere. And I'm going to try to make a blue bonnet. So then I'm going to come in here and grab the middle of this one and then come through the fabric. And I'm using the ribbon to secure it. I'm trying to use the ribbon itself to give it, I thought it was going to work good. I think pliers would work better. There we go. Whew. Okay, so then now you pull it down again and you'll have it helps if I am in green. Okay, so now I've already gone through one loop. I went through the very end piece to secure it. Now I've pulled it down to another loop, and then I'm going to go in through this one. And I'm working that way, so let me bring my needle up through this. Let's hope this will come through easier. Come on. If I had a rubber finger caught, this would be so much easier. but I totally forgot about this being this difficult. Oh, come on. And remember, the cruel needle, let me try to come through a different area. Maybe it won't be as hard. I was trying to come through that yarn, and that's tough. That's a lot of layers to try to come through. And the crewel has a big, you want to use it because you can get the ribbon in it easier, but it has a big head on it to try to, oops, now I locked them. Okay, hold on. Now, you know what, Cheryl? You're brilliant. Cheryl is exactly right. And I'm trying to come through the 2 layers at once. I love how smart you ladies are. Well, let me see. Maybe I can back out again. Okay. So what she said, and she's right, is just stab it down. I would not be having this problem if I had a better way of, there we go, of gripping the needle. Okay, so you stab it down like that. Okay, so see how you're trying to get it. Now I'll come back up and I'm trying to go up with it. So I'm going to come in underneath this petal like this. It's still tough, but it's easier than trying to do it through 2. It's easier just to stab it than to go through 2 layers. Let me see if I can real quickly find pliers. Hold on, guys. Nope, didn't find any pliers. Okay, let me look through here and see if I can find anything to grab it with. That's why I was enjoying sewing this all with my sewing machine, because I didn't have the difficulty. I don't think that's going to work, but I'll try it. All right. Okay, here we go. Let me see if these will work. These are to try to keep the iron from burning your fingers, but they do have a good grip. Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm going to have a better system before I do much more of this. Let me find another hole to try to pull it up through. Okay, here, now we're going. Now we're able. Let me come back down a little. All right. So what I'm going to do is keep making a loop and then coming up through the loop to make 2 little petals each time. This is tricky, and the problem with this, if you want to do it this way to really get that look, you have to do it after you've done all of your thread painting, because these have to be the last thing you put on. If you were to try to put these on and then thread paint, it just wouldn't look right. But now I have found a little problem to doing this. I think, you know what I might do? I think that I might because I have arthritis in my hands. This hurts. So what I'm probably going to do is try to use my sewing machine because I know what I'm supposed to do to give it the blue bonnet look, but I just am not strong enough to do that. So what I'm going to do is remember how I told you about using a bamboo skewer? I'm going to use a skewer. I'm going to make a little loop. I'm going to use my sewing machine to up, down stitch. Then I'll fold another little loop and do up, down stitch. So I'm just going to use my skewer to help me put this in and use my sewing machine because this is too hard. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if that would make it. Boy, I had no idea this was going to be this difficult. Let me try just doing a little bit of it. That she might have given us a great idea. Okay. Oh, I did. I was able to get through that. And then you make sure that you've got a nice loop. And then you take and put the needle right through that loop. Okay, because see how it then makes it look like flower petals. All right, now this time I'm going to follow what Cheryl said. I wonder. Well, you might be able to do that. Linda had a good idea and said, can you what might be good is to take the thread and the ribbon and in your hand, make it into with needle and thread, make it into the shape and then use your sewing machine to stitch it down. But I tried not to go through as many layers, but this is still a little tricky. So, okay, I think though we've got two really good ideas, and that is to not go all the way through the fabric. Just try to go through enough, maybe even just go through the yarn on top so that you stabilized it, you've got it in place, but that you're not having to go through everything. Ugh, this is frustrating. I think another good way to do it too, I might just sit at night and loop the ribbon in my hand and take a regular needle and thread and just stitch it to where I just loop it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, stitch it by hand, then lay it here and let the machine sew it down. Yes, because this is too hard. I had no idea it was going to be this hard. But now you see why I did most of it on the machine with yarn, because I was just moving along so fast, I kept doing it that way. All right. So I think it's going to be great to have these ribbon flowers, but I've got to find an easier way to do it because with this arthritis, I can't do it that way. All righty. Well, we learned something tonight, and this is why I do this, because sometimes you find things that work, and then sometimes you just don't realize in your mind. I've done ribbon embroidery on handkerchiefs before, but that was a linen. It was a more open weave, and it didn't have layers of fabric and thread painting. So I see the problem, but you, being as smart as you all are, gave me wonderful workarounds, and that way I'll be able to get it done. So next week I'll get to show you. But I think it's going to work. Yeah, only go through the top layer, and then I like the idea of instead of trying to run the needle through the yarn itself, go ahead and try to tack it with matching thread. And then I can use the machine to stitch down the flower. So, all right. Well, we've gotten to about the end of it. I like the idea of putting the ribbon on. I think that I'll be able to make quite a few types of flowers. And let me show you my ribbon colors. And I still think that the best ribbon is not the silk ribbon. Save the silk for a fine handkerchief. But with all the thread painting on this, I think a good old cheap polyester is your best bet. And the reason I want to use the silk, the ribbons, is because it yarn is fuzzy. It doesn't have that hold, that petal feeling that you can get with silk ribbon or polyester ribbon. All right. Are there any other questions you have for me? I do know now that we're going to do mosaic slash stained glass look. Gate with flowers and I think a mosaic koi fish. So we'll have both of those so you can choose your favorite thing to do. And it'll be piecing the back on the gate, and it will be all mosaics on the koi. And I will let you have both patterns free. I mean, it's just something I'm going to probably take one pattern and alter it a little bit, and then I'll make the koi pattern. And so be thinking about what color your gate's going to be and the flowers that grow on it, and what color fish you want. The polyester that makes it thicker. Yeah, the silk is so fine, it just kind of whoops, and it disappears. You just won't be able to see it. And plus, it's expensive. So let's use that cheap polyester. I think we'll get a better look, a more vibrant flower. And these are going to be for the flowers that are up close and personal. So, because otherwise you can use fabric and kind of laminate it, or it would be a lot of work. So, ribbon is a winner. And I even have some of the thicker ribbons that if I wanted to make a real up close flower out of this, I could. So that's a whole nother storyline. They've got the most gorgeous ribbons nowadays, and you can use those in your quilt. So this year, I had said I want to do embellishing. I want to learn how to embellish. And by the time I show it to you next week, it might have a few little sequins and a few little beads. Who knows? All right, guys, it was so good to see you. Thank you, Linda, for being our moderator tonight. And thank you to all of you for your great suggestions and your support. Once again, it was a lot of fun to be here with you tonight. If you came in and didn't see the first 3 minutes of the show, do yourself a favor on this April Fool's Day and run back and catch it, okay? Because I think it's worth your while if you want a good little chuckle. And we got you. So that was a lot of fun. All right. Oh, Linda, you're always so supportive. Thank you so much. And I tried it one way, and we'll find a different way. And next week, I'll go back and tell you all of that. You got to watch the first 3 minutes because we pulled a little April Fool's prank on you. Thank you once again. Have a great weekend. I will see most of you back on Sunday, although it's Easter Sunday. If you have a chance to safely be with your family and friends, go for it. I don't have my second shot yet, so I'm still going to be here. And whoever wants to be here with me, I'll see you at 3:05 p.m. on Eastern Time on Sunday afternoon. And let's see what we work on. Thank you so much. You're the best. Take good care of yourself and do something fun just for you. Okie dokie. All right. Take care. Oh, I'm so glad you loved it. He'll be thrilled. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. See you next week for the Art Quilt Thursdays. Bye-bye. You're the best.